Hey guys, we're on the Reproductive Freedom Tour bus with Governor Shapiro. How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's awesome to be with you. Welcome to Philly.
Thank you. We love it here. So we live in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And
you didn't have a Philly accent. I knew you were.
What gave us away? Our governor's the opposite of you when it comes to women.
Yeah.
And we have stories of women that are rejected healthcare in hospitals and have to go home and bleed out or wait for their fetus to die before they can get health care. And I just heard you give a speech where you talk about expanding rights. And how can a vote for Kamala Harris and blue all the way down the ballot help all of these women in red states that are suffering so much?
Listen, I think we have to have uniformity across the board like we had under Roe. By sending it back to the states, we've just had Trump abortion bans in states like yours and neighboring states to Pennsylvania, like West Virginia. And we see an impact in that with women needing to come here. We welcome them here to access a full range of healthcare, whether it's because they want to decide when and on what terms to start a family, or whether they just need basic healthcare. Abortion is healthcare. It should be accessible and available to women regardless of what their circumstances are, what state they live in. I feel very strongly about that. And I think it's a fundamental issue of freedom and a fundamental issue on this ballot that millions of people are going to go vote on in this election.
Now I want to talk about the debate.
Yeah.
And
it was right there at the National Constitution.
Yes. The moment where Donald Trump was so emotional and outraged about this imaginary story that people are eating dogs, people are eating cats. Now he's moved on to geese. And at first I laughed, and then I thought, I've never heard a Republican politician walk up to the podium and say, people are buying guns and walking into schools and killing kids. I've never heard a Republican politician walk up to the podium and say, women are trying to go to the hospital with an ectopic pregnancy but are being denied health care. And I wonder why these politicians don't have the empathy for real human suffering, yet traffic in all of these crazy conspiracy theories. Do you have anything to say?
Look, I think a lot of politicians do care about people. I certainly do here in Pennsylvania. But unfortunately, you've got Donald Trump and a lot of his offspring, including that wacky sidekick of his, J.D. Vance, who genuinely don't care about women in this country, who want to restrict their freedom, who want to get in between them and their doctors, them and their families, and them and their loved ones. And I think it is really an affront to what our founding fathers set in motion right behind me here at Independence Hall 248 years ago. Now, follow me on this. I'm sure that they weren't in there debating abortion rights or reproductive freedom. But the story of what they started there has been one where we've expanded freedoms from generation to generation. We're in the midst of a political generation right now where Donald Trump has managed to take away freedom from millions of women across this country. And that, I think, is an affront to our values as Americans and something that we've got to stand up and fight for in this election, for more freedom, not less, and making sure people have a full range of healthcare options available to them, no matter what state they live in.
Do you have a question?
I was just going to ask you, when you look at the landscape in Pennsylvania, because we live in Oklahoma, we know it's going red. In Pennsylvania, do you feel like the energy is as strong as we felt like it was today?
I do, and let me offer some data to back that
Okay.
up. For those who are not as familiar with Pennsylvania, 2016, the election was settled by 44,000 votes. 2020 was settled by 80,000 votes. We're a commonwealth of 13 million people, 9 million registered voters. So that's a percentage point or less in the last two presidential races. So it's really close. And I expect it'll be close this time too. So I look for different signs and symbols in the community, give me a sense of kind of who's got the energy behind them and sort of where things are heading. And what I'm seeing is not just polls that show it close, but people who are putting a Kamala Harris sign on their lawn who might not have done that before, willing to go out and wear that Kamala Harris t-shirt, coming over to me and saying, hey, I know you know her. What do you really think about her? I'm curious. And those are all positive signs, both because neighbors talking to neighbors is probably the most effective, powerful surrogacy in election, but also people in communities that maybe historically wouldn't support a Democratic candidate for president are really curious about Kamala Harris and really interested in her candidacy. So that suggests to me she's got some real wind at her back. And while these elections are always close here, I feel really optimistic about the direction we're heading.
Oh, good. That makes me feel optimistic.
Good.
Okay, now we're going to play a game called Had It or Hit It.
Oh, I like this game.
All right, Had It or Hit It,
Yeah.
cats.
Cats? Hit it. I like cats. Yeah.
All right, Had It or Hit It, camo.
Hit it. I like camo too. Yeah.
I think it's great that Kamala Harris and Governor Walz
Yeah, they got the camo.
branded
back.
some camo.
That's cool.
We kind of joke around on our podcast a lot that we're taking the flag back, we're taking the eagle back.
Yeah.
Kamala's taking camo back because it's for everybody.
Yeah, and by the way, I think we're taking freedom back because the reality is they love to cloak themselves in the blanket of freedom. They love talking a good game about freedom, but what they're selling isn't freedom at all, right? I mean, it's not freedom to tell our kids what books they're allowed to read.
That was
It's
my
not-
next one. Had
yeah.
It or Hit It, book banning.
Oh, had it.
All right.
How am I doing so far?
You're doing
I'm
good.
doing all right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Very popular. So.
Had It or Hit It, Laura Loomer.
Oh, she's that nut who's following Trump around, right?
That's the one.
No, had it.
Had it.
Yeah.
All right, Had It or Hit It, Mitch McConnell.
Oh, had it. His time is over.
The worst.
Yeah.
The worst. Okay, Had It or Hit It,
His time in the Senate's over. Yeah.
Had It or Hit It, crowd sizes, large ones.
I've had it with Trump, trying to mock Kamala Harris's crowd size. By the way, I think there's a reason why he does that, because he doesn't actually want to see the people who are showing up for Kamala Harris, who are showing up for freedom, who are showing up for democracy. So he pretends he can't see us.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Had It or Hit It, Fox News.
I mean, I went on Fox News today. I think you got to go everywhere and you got to talk about the things that are important to you. And, I think it's important to meet people where they are.
Okay, Had It or Hit It, tan suits.
I don't know that I could pull off the tan suit. Obama sure did, and so did Kamala the other night.
Yeah,
so
she did.
I guess hit it.
All right, Had It or Hit It, J.D. Vance.
Had it. That guy knows better, and I'll tell you something. His problem is he's not being honest with himself. He knows better. He's not being honest with himself, so he can't be honest with the American people. And I think that's his biggest problem. That and the dude's a total pick me. Also,
You know what just blows my mind about him is I
the
don't know
haircut.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Just how horrible he is at his job.
Yeah,
I think most
bad.
people could stay on message and do a better job campaigning than this man has. I mean, he just face planted on CNN this morning.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it was on right after him. I mean, by the way, think about it. He made up this story about the whole eating the cats thing. It literally resulted in bomb threats
Right.
in the community that he represents. And then when he was called on it for his bullshit, what did he say? Oh, my constituents told me about it. So the guy lies, blames his constituents for, the problems that they're now facing. That's just pathetic. It's
I
really
agree. All right, Had It or Hit It, Taylor Swift.
hit it. Come on. We love Taylor
Are
Swift.
you a Swiftie?
Totally, I'm a Swiftie. I'm in my Speak Now era, and I will tell you, she was born here in Pennsylvania, grew up in Wyomissing. We claim Taylor as our own here in Pennsylvania. And, I think Donald Trump is going to quickly learn that attacking Taylor Swift on his fake Twitter account is not a good move. Not a good move.
All right,
Not good to piss off the Swifties.
I wouldn't think so.
last one, Had It or Hit It, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Hit it. They're great. Listen, I've known Kamala Harris for nearly 2 decades. Obviously, I've known Tim a while. We served together as governors. They're wonderful people and great Americans.
All right, Governor Shapiro, thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thanks.
so much.
Good to be with you.
So fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's
See you
great.
soon, guys.
Bye.
It's so entertaining to have the vein. So